Hello. Hi, everybody. I am Guinevere Joy, and today we are doing a yoga practice. So, this practice that we're doing today is going to focus on opening up your hips and your shoulders. And I always like to do some hip opening and shoulder opening before we actually move into any of the bigger postures. So we'll do this warm up and then we'll practice a few more of the yoga asanas that we often do. If you'd like this class today, you can find more about me on my yoga webpage, which is joyyogawellness.com, or Instagram, which is also Joy Yoga Wellness. So let's get started. The style of yoga that I teach is called Scaravelli Yoga. Now, one of the things that we often are mindful of in Scaravelli Yoga is our breath. So, I'd like you to tune in with your spine and just take a few breaths. When I inhale, there's a slight natural curve that happens in my spine. And when I exhale, my spine becomes longer. So this becomes very important when we start to move into any yoga postures such as back bends. We always want to use that breath to lengthen the spine. And as well, you can use this technique in all of the postures. One more thing I'd just like to say is that if you do feel any trouble in your knees or anywhere in your body, just be very gentle with yourself and please exit the pose as gently as possible. So here we have a nice hip opening stretch that I like to call cow. So this is how I enter the pose. I settle my hips between my feet and again, using that Scaravelli yoga breath, I lengthen the spine and I let the pelvis really drop into the floor. However, if you find that you'd like a little bit more, you can slowly walk the arms down and you can rest in this posture. And this will give you a bigger stretch along the sides of your hips as well. Now, if you find that this is too difficult to get into the posture like this, what you can do is place a block just under your hips, and that can help to ease the posture, to take the pressure off of your hips. As well, you can also have a completely modified version where you lengthen one leg and you just bring one side over. And that way you can gradually move into the pose if you find the first version a little bit too difficult. So let's practice the other side. Taking a moment to connect to your breath and also finding the anchor in the pose. So in each pose, there is a part of your body that has the most connection to the ground, and I call this your anchor, the anchor of the pose. So in this pose, the anchor is the sit bones that you're sitting on. Feel the connection to your anchor and lengthen the back of your body with your breath. All right. I'd really like you to make sure that you're equally stretched on both sides before we move on to the next pose in this yoga hip opening series that I have for you today. So taking the time, you can come back to the first side if you'd like. From here, we can come into butterfly posture. So butterfly posture, we take the soles of the feet together, and you can bring the soles of the feet as close to your hips as you comfortably can. Again, this posture is called butterfly. You can make a small fluttering motion with the knees, mimicking the name butterfly. And if you'd like more of a stretch, you can also come forward on your mat, using your breath to lengthen the back of your body. Take your time. Take as much time in the posture as you would like. You can also massage the soles of your feet that are probably needing a nice little massage after walking or standing on your feet. I find that that can help to also open up the posture. And the third posture in this hip opening sequence is the wide ankle. Now, we're going to actually do some circling. So you can practice circling in both directions. And this just is another way to warm up the hips and get your body ready for some bigger postures. So around and around in both directions. All right. It's nice to think of the legs as three-dimensional because really there are different muscle groups in the legs, and we're going to work on really stretching out all parts of the legs. The next one that we have is just some gentle hamstring stretches. So on your mat, you can come down onto the floor, and there's a few options. You can have one leg bent and the other straight, or both legs straight. If you would like to protect your lower back, I would highly recommend keeping one leg bent. From here, you can lengthen one leg, and again, finding your anchor. And there can be two anchors in the posture, but really checking in with the part of your body that has the most weight and the most connection with the ground. Letting the weight drop through that anchor. You can inhale, soften the leg, exhale, straighten. Finding your own breath rhythm. And not fighting, not resisting, just connecting with the ground and your breath. Continue to breathe at your own rhythm, which will likely be different than the pace that I am giving you because we all have our own unique breathing rhythm. Switching sides. Inhaling as we bend the leg. Exhaling to lengthen. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. And a nice little variation is to add in a crisscross. So from here, you can lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms, open and cross, open, cross, open, cross. As you exhale, cross the legs and the arms, connecting with your breath. All right. Before we continue, there's even a nice little one you can do where you try the open butterfly, stretch your arms above your head, and it's just one of those nice stretches that you might do first thing in the morning, stretching your arms, stretching your sides, and coming out. So hopefully your hips are feeling nice and warm. From here, we are going to practice a bridge pose. Now, as I mentioned, in Scaravelli Yoga, we always use the breath to lengthen the spine. So, especially in bridge pose, being a extension of the spine, which is a back bend, it's very important to lengthen the spine as you move into this pose. Now, starting off, I would suggest a very simple breathing exercise to become accustomed to finding your feet in the posture. So, as I come down onto my mat, I'm going to place my feet in a bridge ready position. Hip distance apart, toes pointing forward. Going to inhale, feel the little space between my back and the mat. I'm going to exhale and feel that space close as my spine lengthens. Inhaling, exhaling, I'm pressing the soles of my feet into the mat. Inhaling, release. Exhaling, press. So continue this movement for a few breaths to really connect to the soles of your feet. Then what I would like you to do, inhale, relax, exhale, press into the feet, and slowly come up into a bridge posture. Being mindful that you don't open your ribs, that you keep your ribs tucked in, and also keeping your glutes relaxed. And for here in this posture, I breathe. And as I exhale, I feel my lower back lengthening. Can come down, and of course, tucking the feet and knees into your chest in a little boat. You can rock back and forth in your little boat. You can even create circles with the knees to massage your back. After every back bend, it's so important to have a counterbalance pose where you allow the spine to reset. We'll do one more bridge and then we'll move on. So really connecting with the feet. Inhale, exhale, and lifting up into bridge. The more you are connected with your feet, the less work you'll find that you have to do in the posture. Using your breath, lengthening the spine. And coming down. Tuck the knees into the chest. And as you wish, you can either remain in little boat and rest, or you can create little circles with your knees. And this could be just a lovely back massage. All right. From here, we have another posture that I really like to include to open up the shoulders. So we come back onto our mat and we start in the posture little boat that we were just in. Now, I'm going to roll onto my side, bring one arm straight out, and then the other arm comes out to the other side. This is little boat twist. From here, I'm going to begin to move my arms in a sliding motion, always checking in with the knees, making sure that they're tucked into your armpit as much as they can be. And doing so helps to protect your lower back. Another arm motion you can do is creating circles with that other arm. So I create a circle, I come back across the collarbones, palm over palm, and then as though I'm tracing a big circle at the beach. And across. This is a lovely pose to rest in, and it really does help to open up the shoulders. All right, we'll make sure that you do each side equally. So, coming back onto the mat. In your little boat, and palm opening up into the twist. And of course, you may find that one side is more open than the other. And of course, moving the arms into the arm sequence. I open up, I reach my arms across my collarbones, sliding palm over palm, and then opening. Finding the anchor in the posture. Where is the anchor? It's the part of your body that feels the most contact with the ground, the most weight. You can also reach and trace a circle on the ground above you. Sliding the arm across your arms and reaching around. When you're in the twist, the easiest way to feel the spine lengthen is to tune into your exhalation. When we are in a twist, the spine naturally lengthens, and using that breath, you can lengthen just like you were just twisting a corkscrew. It's this wonderful lengthening, twisting motion. So that's another reason to really check in with the exhale breath when you're doing twists as well as back bends. So we've done a warm up of our hips and shoulders. Now what we can do is come into cat pose, downward facing dog, as well as puppy and a resting pose, such as pigeon and child pose, and then we'll finish up. It's really important to warm up our bodies, our hips and our shoulders before moving into some of these bigger postures, because we'll get much more out of the posture if our hips and shoulders are sufficiently warmed up. Okay, so the first one we're going to practice is cat pose. So I come into cat with my knees below my hips and my hands directly below my shoulders. Inhaling, exhaling, pressing the spine up and letting my neck relax. Come into neutral spine, and again. So continue to breathe a few times. And now we can practice some spinal rolls. So I'm going to come up to the side, down, and to the other side. My neck and my jaw are soft. These spinal rolls are wonderful to, again, warm up and loosen up the shoulders. If your arms start to feel tired, you can rest down in child's pose. The few options for child, you can either have your legs together Or you can make a space for your body and come down onto the mat between your knees. I find that child, child and cat can go very nicely together because it does give your arms and your wrists a bit of a break to break up the posture in a few sections. So we also have an option for cat pose to come around to the side. And from here, we're just going to check in with the shoulders, maybe lift the shoulders up, and then walk around to the other side. It gives you a very nice side stretch. All right. Again, if you need to come down into child, take a little rest. From here, we can come into downward facing dog. So, down dog can be approached in a few different ways. Now, one way to come into downward facing dog is from the mat. So I start with my toes curled, my palms on the mat, and I press up into a down dog. However, some people find it much easier to start from a standing pose. So I start standing, and I really check in with my feet. And then I just start to walk my hands down. And entering the pose from this way, I'm much more connected to my legs. And there's much less weight in my arms. So in downward facing dog, you can bend and straighten the legs. And from here we'll come into puppy posture, or as some people call, melting heart posture. So, very similar to child. I come down and I reach my arms forward. If you would like more of a stretch in the upper back, you can also bring your arms into prayer position. And then again into downward facing dog. Bending and straightening the legs as you wish. And really connecting to that breath. So pressing into the legs and exhaling will give you so much more out of this posture by really utilizing that out breath. All right, let's do one more downward facing dog, then we'll move on to lunge and pigeon pose. Okay, so let's get started. Coming into your down dog, inhaling, exhaling, really pressing into the heels, and letting the neck be soft and mobile and loose. All right, we're coming into our first lunge pose. So from here, I am lengthening one leg behind me, and I have one foot forward. Now, checking in with my foot, I want to make sure that the heel is under my knee, and also making sure that my knee is not in internally rotating. So we can use our out breath to lengthen the back of the body as well as the front of the lengthened leg. You can come out of the pose for a mere moment and then back into it. And breathe. And find your anchor, which very well may be the back knee. Switch sides, making sure that both sides are even. And breathe. Now, my elbow is very lightly resting on my knee. There's not a lot of weight. Really and truly, I can take my arm off and the pose is not going to change that much. Inhaling, lengthen, and lower, and drop the pelvis towards the mat. Inhale, exhale. And if you'd like a little break, you can come back, stretch the back of the hamstring out, and then forwards again. All right, so this lunge has prepared our bodies for a much more gentle resting pose that still works on opening the hips. So, to come into this posture, what we can do is start in our table pose. Then what I'm going to do is bring one knee between my palms. I bring that other foot just below my hip, and then I lengthen the back leg. All right, from here, I'm going to slowly drop down and rest my whole body on the ground, resting my forehead on the ground, palms flat on the floor, and breathe. This is part one. Part two, I start to slowly walk my arms up. And again, I breathe my spine long. Really using that exhalation breath to lengthen the spine. And then, of course, I can come back down onto the mat. Now, we'll do the other side, and I'll give you a modification for those who need it. So, the first modification is for the head coming towards the floor. You can always put the mat, you can put a block on the mat, and you can rest your forehead on the block. Another option is to take maybe a folded towel or even the block itself and put it under the hips if you're having a hard time connecting to the ground. So we'll just do our other side again. I'll talk you through how to enter the posture. So I start in a table position and I bring one knee between my hands, and then I just start to lengthen the back leg ever so gently. I'm going to show you how you do this. So I'm going to place the block under my head for those who need it. And that can really change the posture and help you find connection to the ground. So for for those of you who need a little bit more support, you can also put something under your hips. So you can just stick a folded blanket under this area, and that can help you also to find a connection to the floor. All right, so everyone, that was our simple series of postures that we did today. I'll definitely be doing some more videos, so please feel free to um, ask me any questions if you like about the yoga that we did today. You can always send me a message at joyyogawellness.com, or joyyogawellness is my Instagram handle as well. So I'm wishing you all so much wellness, so much peace, just taking the time for yourself to really connect to your body and to find your breath and to take some time for yourself to really help yourself relax, because that relaxation and peace is always going to be in your hands. So that said, I wish you a wonderful day and namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today.